Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 060, Topics in Developmental Mathematics,
Section 4.5, Problem 24. This is Section 4.5, Problem 24. It says solve the following. 4.2 is what percent of 4.8? So, to solve something like this, first we have to turn it into an equation, then we solve the equation. And to turn it into an equation, you have to look for certain keywords such as is, which becomes an equals, and also of, which becomes a multiplication. So let's rewrite it as an equation. 4.2 is starts off as 4.2 equals. What percent? That's an unknown, so we use a variable. I'll use n. You could also use p for percent. That's a popular choice. Of becomes a multiplication, so times 4.8. So that's the same problem as an equation now. 4.2 equals n times 4.8. So to solve for n, divide the 4.8. So you'll have 4.2 divided by 4.8 equals n. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have a teacher that allows you to use a calculator to solve the homework problems, you just divide with your calculator. So numerator 4.2 divide by the denominator 4.8 equals, and your calculator will just give you the answer. Now remember, the answer you get with the calculator will be in the form of a decimal. The question asks for the answer in the form of a percent, so you still have to convert that, but it's simply a process of moving the decimal point 2 positions to the right. Calculator is the easiest way to go. Now, notice in some of the previous problems like this, I said the trick I like is if I can make the denominator of the fraction into a 100 easily, the numerator just becomes the percent. And in the previous problems, I was able to do it. I had denominators like 25 or 20. 4.8 doesn't really work that well. So if I can't use my calculator, I really do have to do it out the long way. So if that's the case, if you have to do it the long way, the 4.8, the denominator will go outside of the division symbol. The numerator 4.2 goes inside the division symbol. Now, it's okay to have a decimal inside the division symbol. It would just go right up vertically, but outside is a problem. I have to get rid of the decimal outside of the division symbol. So I just simply move it as far as I have to until it goes to the end of the number. But in order to do that, I have to move it the same number of positions for the number under the division symbol. So in this case, I just move it over one spot, and the 4.8 becomes a 48. And if I move it one spot for the number outside, the number underneath also goes one spot, and it becomes a 42. So now I'll just do that division. 48 divides into 42. Well, 42 is not big enough. It won't fit. So I have to add on a 0. Pretend the 42 is a 420, but you really put a decimal for 42.0. And when you introduce that decimal, it goes straight up vertically into where the answer is going to be. Now, 48 times what is 420? How close can we get? 9 might be a little too big. I'm going to start with 8. This could involve some trial and error, so if 8 doesn't work out, you just erase it and try the next one, try 9. So 8 times 8 is 64. Write the 6. I write the 4 rather, carry the 6. 8 times 4 is 32, plus the 6 more that we carried. 32 and 6 more is 38. And now, when I subtract, is the result bigger or smaller than 48? Let's see. So I'm going to have to borrow. That 2 becomes a 1, the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 1 minus 8 won't work, I have to borrow again. The 4 becomes a 3. The 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0, so 36. So 8 was the right choice. So it didn't go in evenly. I have a remainder. That's okay. What I'm going to do is just make another 0, make it 42.00, and bring that next 0 straight down next to the 36, and it's basically a 360. So now 48 times something is 360. Well, I can see times 8 was 384, so 8's going to be a little too big. So 7, I'm very confident with. That's going to work well. So 7 times 8 is 56. Write the 6, carry the 5. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus the 5 more that we carried is 33. And now 360 minus 336. You could borrow. I can see it's 24. So it still didn't go in evenly, so I'm going to introduce another 0 on the top, bring it straight down. put that 0 next to the 24, it essentially becomes a 240. And I think it'll go in evenly now. So if I do 5, let's see what happens. 5 times 8 is 40. That's a good sign. Write the 0, carry the 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 4 more that we carried is 24, and it goes in perfectly. Remainder is 0. So now we've got it. 0.875. But again, that's the answer as a decimal. The question asks for it as a percent. So as a decimal, the answer is 0.875. But if we want a percent, we're going to move that decimal point 2 positions to the right, and it'll show up between the 7 and the 5, making it 87.5%. That's the answer. 4.2 is 87.5% of 4.8.